So 15th of January, welcome to Number of the Day. It's a big one and it's very, very significant. In fact, Francis heard 75%. Now, for those who were buying illicit cigarettes during the COVID years, I would have thought post-COVID, the illicit cigarette trade would have died down, but apparently not.
No, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. So 75% is the percentage, the estimate of cigarettes that are being sold that are illegal in South Africa. So it means more than 7 out of 10 boxes of cigarettes are illegal. It's incredible. It's not a new number, but we're talking about this because British American Tobacco, South Africa Today, said it is closing up shop. And we're not talking about thousands of people. 230 people are going to lose their jobs. There was only one manufacturing facility making cigarettes in South Africa, in Gauteng. But it's saying it can't compete against this tidal wave of illicit cigarettes. So we can look why it has happened. But I would just say this is a worrying statement when British American Tobacco says it's engaged with government and law enforcement authorities over the past decade. And it's saying it's giving up. It'll import cigarettes, but it's been here for 50 years and now it's going to close up shop. And I was just looking at the brands, Dunhill, Peter Stuyvesant, Benson and Hedges, Kent and Rothmans.
Was that all part of BAT?
All part of BAT.
Wow.
So I was a smoker once, thankfully not anymore.
Yeah, me
but
too.
You're basically stating all the brands that people used to cling to because now they're clinging to some other brands.
Some other products from who knows where, which we can discuss, I guess, in a moment as well. Where are those brands coming from? But what worries me, and I was actually going to ask you, so you've sort of led me to it, is I was going to ask if BAT has been working with government, talking to government, trying to find a solution alongside government. But based on the statement, they have, and they've exhausted all the options and they've gone, okay, mic drop, we're out, which worries me, not from the business perspective only. Yes, there's jobs to be lost, which is awful, and second order effects. But I get the sense then that means BAT, they got no resolution from government, which worries me even more.
So it is a worrying statement. But to be fair, I think there's been a lot of back and forth. If we go back to SARS in the old days, SARS had incredible, remember there was a lot of hoo-ha about the closure of their illicit cigarette units that used to kind of track down illicit trade. SARS lost those units. That was part of state capture. Bain, the company that helped Tom Moyane, then the head of SARS, really to gut the place. That's basically the findings. It was a dismal failure, but SARS then under Edward Kisweta has tried to come back and tried to deal with illicit cigarettes because this is a huge money spinner for South Africa.
It's a huge money spinner, but I was about to say every single year, and we're getting closer and closer now to, budget speech of 2026, et cetera, et cetera. It's so important for government that they even put these sin taxes, or they still call them sin taxes, on cigarettes because government knows what a big money spinner it is. People aren't going to suddenly stop smoking. No. The problem is, what are they smoking and what can government get from them via taxes, which now seemingly might be going up in, smoke.
Yeah, exactly. So sin taxes are there because people are addicted and they'll keep buying it. But if they have other options, then they won't. So British American Tobacco talking about the taxes going up. The new SARS did want to put cameras. I don't know if you remember that.
I do, yes. In warehouses and all sorts of places.
Because one of the rationale for that was that maybe the small companies are showing so much inventory, but through the back door, they are selling illicit cigarettes. Maybe even the big companies are doing that. It's like some of the factories in China. They make the authorized stuff in the day and then the same stuff at night that then hits the black.
Balance.
And then it hits the black market. It's from the same factory. So that was the idea. And British American Tobacco it did comply. It had to put up cameras, but I don't think it was happy about that. But it did talk about track and trace vehicles, so it wanted other measures in place. The fact is SARS lost that battle. By last year, the courts interdicted SARS and said you cannot put up CCTV cameras. They wanted to see what was leaving warehouses. So I think they're feeling at a bit of a loss. And yeah, the numbers are just staggering, and the amount of revenue that we are losing is just staggering, because you don't want people addicted to cigarettes in the first place. But if they are, at least they should be paying the fair amount.
Well, I was about to say, if you're going to have anyone addicted to something that's dangerous for you, you may as well make some money off of it. I think is
Exactly.
how some of the capitalists...
Yeah, you phrased it better, actually.
Yeah, well, rather clumsily, but I think if you're going to have an addictive substance, i.e. alcohol, might be another one.
Yes.
If you're going to have that, at least get the taxes from it. We can leave the health discussion for perhaps another day. I can't help but wonder if you're saying 75%. So if I go to a restaurant sometime this weekend and I count 4 people smoking, do I then assume 3 of those 4 people are buying cigarettes illegally, which worries me because where are they getting them? It's obviously very easily accessible.
Yeah, and this is about law enforcement as well,
It is,
right?
yeah, of course.
But obviously, if it's so easy, everyone will just be putting it behind the counter. Everyone will know what to ask for. And if you don't have those authorities who can go in and check on that, that's a problem. And you spoke about COVID. Remember officials then who... And British American Tobacco is raising this, saying that was an unconstitutional ban on cigarettes in 2020. And people at the time were saying, all you'll do is drive this underground.
Which is what's happened.
Yeah, and I would love a world without cigarettes. I never want my little daughter. I wish they didn't exist. Okay, but the fact is, you have this market, and then you take an addictive substance and you take it off the shelves overnight, with people going into withdrawal even.
Yeah.
It was a very strange decision, and I think we were one of 2 countries in the entire world that pulled a move like that. But the predictions is that you're going to drive it underground and encourage illicit trade. And indeed, since then, it has gotten worse and worse and worse. The speculation then was that politicians may even be involved. And I don't know about that. But what we can say is there's a history here where motives were questioned when those units were shut down in SARS. And the fact is, this has been benefiting, who knows, but a whole range of people along the way, because it is so massive.
And just before we leave the conversation for now, it does make me wonder then, if we know it's 75%, could we see something from government, perhaps SARS later, just your view on this, to try and get on top of this once again? Because the units were dissolved, but they knew it would be a problem. But now that we have numbers to illustrate how bad the problem is, I can't help but think government or SARS, whoever it might be, will want to try and get on top of this. I just can't help but wonder if maybe the horse hasn't bolted already, despite all the warnings you spoke about.
I suspect the horse has bolted, but SARS will continue to try to extract this revenue and clamp down on the illicit trade. It'll find other ways. The cameras didn't work. But it also depends how many people you can put on this problem. And the predictions are that people will stop smoking anyway, right? So yes, in that sense, maybe the horse is also bolted, because we may be in a situation where the revenue from cigarettes is still quite substantial, but it's going to go down. It must go down, I think, given the health concerns in the world. And then, of course, vaping is a whole new discussion. But as far as illicit cigarettes go, this number is just staggering. And we're seeing the consequences. British American Tobacco saying it is shutting shop in South Africa by the end of this year. 75%, the percentage of illicit cigarettes being sold in South Africa every day.